It's 9 a.m. I'd like to call the Adams County Board of Supervisors to order. Mr. Bradford would lead us in prayer.
Yes, sir. Let us stand. Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning, oh God, for allowing us to see another day. And Father, we just carefully give your name all honor, praise, and glory. And Father, we just ask right now, Lord God, that you continue to strengthen your elected officials that you have appointed in this place, in this city, in this time. Continue to give them strength from on high, oh God. Father, continue to keep them, let them work close together to serve your people, oh God. And Father, we thank you for that. Father, we just pray for continued peace throughout this county, through the city, through the state, through this country, oh God. Father, continue to bless everyone, each and every one of us. Father, we just pray for our first responders, our teachers, our kids, oh God. And Father, continue to let wisdom from on high lead us and guide us, oh God. And Father, we thank you for Adams County and everything that we do. We thank you for the financial blessing that you're going to bestow upon this county. And we're not going to need for anything, oh God, this coming year. And Father, we thank you. We give your name all honor, praise, and glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Turn to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the February minutes?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins.
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Are there any discussion?
Mr. President, I need some clarification on the amount that we're supposed to be paying the interim county administrator. I need some clarification. What I'm asking is this. When I read the minutes, it said a monthly amount of $9,167 a month or $110,000 annually. What I'm trying to get the board to see is it's supposed to be $80-something thousand annually because the 110 was for 2 jobs, not 1 job.
Okay.
Just need to get that correct.
That's correct.
And the other thing is about Miss Haywood. One minute we have her down for personnel, property, tax assessor, and then she's down as the deputy tax assessor. So, is she the deputy tax assessor? Or is she the personnel, property tax assessor?
I think she's just contract labor. I don't think she's actually a deputy.
Well, we don't need to put it in the minutes like that. Thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right. I need a motion for the approval of the docket.
So
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Middleton. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Are there any discussion?
It is, Mr. President, the date, third month, third day, 2023, and claim number 233298, I'm voting against that.
Any more discussion? There be no discussion? More discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried. I need approval of the monthly financial report. Adams County Sheriff Office.
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins.
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Are there any discussion?
Mr. President, I don't know if this time for this or not, but I got a question for the county administrator. Okay, when we say we approving the monthly financial reports, are we doing this by quarterly, every 3 months, like we do your office, or there's something different?
They're by state statute. The auditor has told us that certain are monthly, certain are quarterly. So I believe the sheriff's are monthly, that we have to have approved.
So my only question is, at the last board meeting, I don't know if you was here or not, but we approved some raise pending you
Yes.
making sure that it was in the budget.
I did check it and it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, there be any more discussion? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Need a motion to approve of the Chancery Clerk monthly financial report.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins and properly seconded by Supervisor Gray. There be any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carries none. All right, will there be any special presentation?
Mr. President, I don't have now, but I'm gonna ask, are those proclamations ready for the two individuals? I think it's, William Dawes and Ms. Osterbar.
I'll get them done today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Moving along with county business, Catherine, McFate Children's Home.
Good morning, thank you
Good
for
morning.
allowing me to come speak to y'all today. I'm coming, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and I'm coming to ask the board and county's permission to have a visual display in front of the courthouse to represent the amount of children that we serve in Adams County over the last year. It'll be a 6x3 banner with several colorful pinwheels, and it will be displayed the entire month of April. My staff will go out and put that up at the beginning of April and remove it at the end. And so I'm just coming to ask permission to do that.
Motion.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, properly seconded by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? Be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Tamika Gibson, she'll be just. All right, Joel Fur, Joel Fur Design.
Yes, sir. I have a presentation prepared that I was going to do on the screens, but apparently their Wi-Fi is down, and they told me this morning I wouldn't be able to access the screens. So I don't know how we want to proceed with that. I don't know if we want to huddle up and look at it on my iPad or what. But it's a presentation about the Chester Willis Field and the ball field and how we need to proceed.
Can that be printed?
Probably, but I don't know if I can get it to her printer because your Wi-Fi is down.
If you can email it to her?
To yeah, I can try that, and I mean I can do it in PDF and print it to her. It'll just take me a couple of minutes.
That's fine. We can go down.
We can do
We can
something
move
else.
down
That's
while you
fine.
work
Okay.
on that.
All right.
We'll come back to
Move
you.
down.
Just let us know when you're ready.
Yeah, apparently IT's working on it, but it's not done. I'll get it to you just.
All right,
Very good.
next we on air disposal, Richard.
You're Rudy, you can just call me Rich.
He's right back.
Thank you all for allowing me to be here. And I'm President and CEO of Air Disposal. I'm here today. We have Jimmy Moore, our Mississippi marketing representative, which you probably met before. Daryl Stewart, our local manager for the Natchez City contract. And I'm here to tell, we're glad to be part of this process. We would like to be here in Adams County to pick up your garbage. I'm here to tell you that we welcome the opportunity to get to the negotiating table if you so choose. You can talk to your neighbors here in Natchez, Lincoln County, Brookhaven, Wilkes County, close by here. We've been doing this 30 years. We've been in the state since '09, picking up garbage. So again, just want to let you know that we would like to be here, and anything we can do to help you work toward the goal for the county and work with you, I'm offering to make myself available to do so
All right,
and answer any questions you may have.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All All right, Fred Parker, insurance update. Mr. Parker's not here.
Oh, he's not coming. He said something come up. He did say.
He won't be here?
Yeah, he won't be here.
All right, city government event. Any city government business?
Mr. President, I don't have, I guess you can call it city government business. Robbie, on Vaughn Drive, we supposed to be getting with the city to see exactly how we gonna handle that situation. Have we even talked about that with public work, the city or whatever? I'm getting that call every week.
Weight limit signs or?
No. Not the
Talking
weight
about
limit sign. Yeah,
the culverts?
right.
I don't feel like the city's gonna do anything, and the county's not like the city. She's got 2 existing culverts in her drive. as
Could we
speak.
make sure,
I can make sure.
because I don't wanna go on record, I don't wanna go on record telling her the
But I
city's
thought-
not gonna do something, then we go to the city and they say, well, I didn't say that.
All right, I'll talk to them one more time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. And city business, this might be, I guess it is, gonna be county and city business. Before we move on, Mr. Wild, can you go ahead and then make that up?
Good morning.
morning.
I guess we're getting ready to kind of look at the pool, but right now we don't have a board, so I talked to Scott and he told me to come down here today. Derek Matisse said he is working out in Macomb, so he don't have the time. Bubba Bruce says he don't want to participate no more. The city does not have one person, so we really don't have a board. But the pool cover is over. We need to actually start taking it off probably by the end of the month to the beginning of April and start treating it. Cathedral want to start in April, middle to the end of April. So I'm bringing this before the board to see what they want to do on this.
Scott, you got any comments?
Well, we need to get the board up and going so they can do the things they need to do to get the pool higher and going and all that.
I bet we need to look for some more.
Right now, I got this young lady, because we don't have a board, put together a budget. What she's doing is she's putting together everything that we spent last year on pool supplies, lifeguards. We do have to have lifeguard retraining. If we're gonna do that, we need to do that next month. We have a list of people that want to come back in. We have Balon Jones, who comes out of Jackson, who comes in and do our training. So we need to get the okay, how are we gonna do it so we can get that up and running.
And both boards have to approve the budget that they submit. So,
That's why I brought on the city, county and city, so we can.
So
Well,
President Gaines,
yes, ma'am.
do we need to appoint some more people to the board? What are the city intentions? Have you been to the city yet to see what their intentions
I'm going to
are?
the city next Tuesday. I've talked to 3 of them, but so far I haven't got anything. But they have to appoint 2. We don't have one.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Supervisor Gray?
President, I guess the process that we doing and going by is not working, because last time we handpicked some people and I guess we wanted to see them on the board because of some experience they had with either swimming or whatever the case may be. Maybe we need to just put something out to the community and find out who want to serve on this board, and maybe they'll stay on the board, because picking them and put on the board, that ain't working. That's just my suggestion.
All right. Well, definitely got to have a board, definitely got to have a pool operator.
I think what messed that all up was when the city took over their own parks, because the guy that I appointed for the board was big into golf. So he didn't care anything about swimming pools. I don't really blame him for not wanting to participate. So
Yeah, well,
that changed everything.
I think we need to get together and figure out, go ahead and find somebody to reappoint, but we definitely need to get with the city to see what their intentions are and move forward. But, you know, swimming pool is one of the big part of recreations here, and so, you know, it's coming up summer and people gonna use it, so we need to move forward with it. So,
One more question on that. We have the county and the school board cutting the grass. I guess we can keep coordinating. The city never participated, so I guess we're gonna keep working. The county gonna keep doing it. We're gonna actually reach back out to the school board, which you said we would, So, do we have a go on that? Keep it like it is?
Well, I'm pretty much sure the city not gonna cut it, the county, the school board been cutting it, we're gonna move forward with what we got. You know, until we bring it back to the table, we're gonna keep going with what we got.
All right, that's
All right, any more questions?
That's all I have.
All right, well, we'll get together as a board and figure out what we need to do, or how we gonna, get some people advertised for them, or we gonna talk to some people and try to get our appointees back on the board. And meanwhile, we'll have to get with the city, see what their intentions are.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, down to departmental reports.
Good morning.
Morning.
And it fails to have us now on this back. Given the reports for February, the whole month of February, the calls we had, the National Police Department was 1,143. Adams SO had 491. The National Fire Department had a total of 45 with 33 being in the county. So,
All right, thank you, Ms. Bell. Next, departmental reports.
good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Becky. I'm the comptroller for Adams County. I would like to introduce our new purchase clerk, Mr. Ned Price. And our assistant,
Good morning.
our assistant purchase clerk, Mr. Xavier Hawkins.
How you doing? Good morning.
Glad to have y'all.
The first thing I would like to do is spread across the minutes, to get approval, the January procurement card and travel card.
You heard the request. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins and properly second. There be any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor vote by using the sign of aye. If any opposed, nays have the same right, motion carried unanimously.
With the vehicles for the sheriff department, we are in the process of trying to get those VIN numbers. They haven't been released to us yet, but we've been working with Wes to get those VIN numbers. I also have the 2 quotes for the upfitting for those 10 vehicles for the sheriff department. The 2 quotes we have, one is from Southern Connection and the other is from Hertz Auto World. The first one is for the bar light package for 5 of the vehicles from Southern Connection. That quote is totaled at $63,000. And the second quote for Southern Connections is for the additional 5, and they will receive different packages. One is the bar light package. 2 will get the bar light package. 2 will get a sleek top, and the administrative vehicle will get a sleek top as well. That's $57,700. So those 2 together would be about $120,000. Hertz Auto World, the first quote was in the amount of $61,995. That's for the bar light package, so they did beat out Southern Connection, which their quote for that same package was $63,000. And the second quote, which was the bar light package, the sleek top package and the sleek top administrative package was $56,964, which also beats out Southern Connections with a total of $57,700.
All right.
Did you,
They told us the bid, 11,000, almost 17.
state auditor okay with keeping these 2 separate like this?
I haven't talked to them, but I'll reach out in time.
Yeah, before we go.
So you need to talk to state auditor first.
Yeah, just make sure
Just
they're
to make sure
comfortable
we can-
with handling it's 2 different contracts as opposed
Yeah.
to lumping into one, in which case it's fairly advertised.
Right.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, Mr. President.
Yes.
can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
I understand what you're saying, but ain't the laws on both of them.
Yeah.
Right, but you might have to advertise because of the purchase price.
Because of the,
You didn't advertise them separately, or you advertised them together?
It's 75,000.
75,000 is the cap, as far as what we submit for approval to bid out.
Yeah,
But the quotes were done separately.
I got
It's probably okay, but we just want to
Yeah,
be better.
yeah,
safe than
just to
sorry.
make sure.
so we need to make a motion pending state audit.
I would.
Good.
Okay.
So can I get a motion for approval, depending upon the state audit, review?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson, and properly second by Supervisor Miller. Are there any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right.
And one of the quotes we received for recreation for Providence or the gutters, I will bring this before the board, because Mr. Dunn's price was $7,000, but we did receive a lower price from Delta Seamless Gutter in the amount of $2,000. And that's including all material.
We need a motion for that. So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson and Middleton, and properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. There be any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right.
And I would also like to state that, in the equipment that was ordered for the volunteer firefighters, we have, started the process with Ms. West in reference to getting their reimbursement. We have received the first reimbursement in the amount of $11,334.42. That was the amount for the material, the training material that they received. We're waiting on the rest of their equipment to come in. Once we get the rest of their equipment, we'll get the balance and I'll bring that to the board. But we have gotten that initial payment for the material because we have received all of those. We're just waiting on the rest of their equipment to come in.
All right.
President Gaines.
Yes.
Have they received their uniforms yet?
That's what we're waiting on. They've received some of the items. One of the gentlemen had a death in the family, so he was getting ready to bring some more of the items. They're just coming in at different times. We have received the boots and the helmets. We're just waiting on everything else.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I do have a quote here from Mr. Hutchins for the rodeo arena. Still waiting on that second quote. I did reach out to someone in reference to a second quote for getting the roof over the bleachers, cover over the pen, and the roping for the chutes. We're just waiting on that second quote to come in.
Well, I need to explain something to the board, and talk to the board, with Roger. I have been to everybody in Adams County that way Roger have, both sides of the river. We cannot find anyone, we can't find somebody who will give us a second quote on putting the top on, doing the work.
Mr. President, we're expecting a second quote any minute now.
Okay.
Reaching out, and it may already be in there, just internet not be in there, but
Okay, because we have,
before we adjourn, we'll handle it one way or the
we
other.
need to handle that before we go,
I
because
can get a copy of this.
we have had, myself, and I had Robin, and he had everybody, he knew, we have looked from here to Brookhaven, to Natchez, to Medina, to Third, trying to get a quote. And it's the only quote that we have been able to get. Half people come look, but I guess they didn't have the manpower to do it. But anyway, we'll talk to Scott, and hopefully we'll call you, hopefully we can get.
I'll give him a copy of this quote that I have.
Okay.
That's all I have.
President Gaines.
Yes.
I need to get with you regarding some other things that needs to be at the part that
Okay.
was not put on.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I'll get with you after this meeting.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
All right. Departmental reports next.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've only got a few things. Natchez CD Center. Don Mitchell called and said that he actually closed in February of '22, and he doesn't feel like he owes the '22 bill, which is $298. He said he's gone to work for Natchez salary, but he shut this business down completely. So he's asking for it to be removed on the for the '22 budget.
You heard the request? Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Attorney. What she actually do and what the motion that we made, is that legal?
Should be legal. He was not in business
He was not in
by
business.
April 1st.
No.
Thank you, sir.
There'll be no more discussion. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried.
Back to Magnolia Manor Properties, the Beehive. A couple of weeks I came to you and asked for y'all to remove the building because they had a certificate from the city saying that they were not open. We were under the impression that it was an existing building. After going out there and talking to Mr. Johnson, they built this building from the ground up. So it's a brand new building. And that's why he was wanting to take it off the road for '22. Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it was not in business. We checked, we went and pulled the, whatever certificate of occupancy.
Yeah.
It was not in business before the date.
Before January 1.
Before January 1, the personal property, however,
I've got it on, but I can't give you all the details on it because the internet's been down all weekend.
your personal property is on the roll, your real property is not on the roll, it'll be on this year.
This
Tax, it was effective as of January 1. Real property is not. Personal property is.
Real property is January 1 deadline. Personal is March 1. So he's
All right.
asking for it to be removed.
Okay, so you need a motion.
Yeah, I'm gonna get, ask for a motion. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Want to be removed? Second. It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson, properly second by Supervisor Middleton. Are there any discussion?
Mr. President, you say the proof we have is the what?
Certificate of occupancy is what we got asked the city to send it to us. And their certificate of occupancy wasn't until
February 15th, I think.
So this certificate proves
they weren't in the building operating their business until February the 15th.
Thank you, sir.
That's typically when you put new business down.
All right.
It's not mandatory that you grant this because they were late on their filing. You know, we have our process and so forth. But it's perfectly legal if you did grant the reduction.
If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
The abatement from the city is,
He is not gonna be able to make it today. We just got notification, so I'll let you know when he's.
okay. I'm done. Thank you.
All right. Departmental reports next.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
I have a couple of requests here from AT&T Mobility to place additional equipment on the existing SBA Power Corporation site located at 3 Dave Levitt Road. The project will include the placement of 9 antennas, 3 remote radio units and associated equipment, and removal of 6 antennas, 3 remote radio units, and 6 PMAs. The placements of this additional equipment will improve AT&T mobility service in North Natchez and along Martin Luther King Road going north. Ordinance requirements have been met and fees have been paid. I request the board to approve this AT&T mobility application, please.
You heard the request. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second? Been properly second by Supervisor Miller to approve the application for AT&T. Are there any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried.
Okay. We got a second one here from, also from AT&T Mobility, request a permit to place additional equipment on an existing SBA Tower Corporation site located at 11 Newman Road. The project will include the placement of 6 antennas and associated equipment, removal of 3 antennas and 6 TMAs. The placement of this additional equipment will improve AT&T service along in the portions of East Natchez and portions of Highway 61, 84, and 98 around the Washington area. Ordinance requirements have been met and fees have been paid, and I request the board to approve this AT&T Mobility application.
You heard the request. Can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second? Second by Supervisor Miller. Are there any discussion?
Mr. President, who is the owner of these towers?
SBA,
SBA?
SBA Tower Corporation.
What does that stand for?
I got no idea.
The reason I'm asking, because we always approve stuff to go on towers, and we always get the complaint that in these areas, stuff ain't working like it's supposed to be, and I know when I was with the city, when they had some of their own towers, and when you add or subtract, the city was getting a benefit from it. And I'm trying to figure out what kind of benefit does the county get from these towers being in the county?
You get taxes off of them.
We don't get taxes. We get taxes?
You get personal property taxes is assessed on, because it's actual property that's within the county.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, if there be no discussion, all in favor vote by using the sign of aye. And any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
That's all.
All right, thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Any board, anybody have any questions for him? No questions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Departmental reports.
Good morning. I have a request for a check for $100 for Mississippi Forestry Commission for the brush truck. Like I said, we're just waiting on us to pay for it and we can go get it. That's in Pearl, Mississippi.
There's a motion. Congratulations. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. You want $100 check, do I need, you need a motion for to go get a truck? Do I need a motion for this?
I think it's a used truck you buy from the U.S. Forestry Department for $100.
Yeah, sure.
So, you heard the request. It's been properly, moved by Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been properly seconded by Supervisor Mills. Is there any discussion? There be no discussion, all in favor vote by using the sign of aye. There any opposed, nays have the same right.
And also, travel request for Robert Bradford, to go through Grenada for a 911 meeting. They said everything's been taken care of for 911. It's just you go on to a meeting and you come right back. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, all right, you heard the request. Travel, it's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Are there any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried unanimously.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Departmental reports.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
We had 1,230 total EMS requests in February. 911 was 340, 257 transports out of that, 88% in the city compliance, and that's actually 90% in the county, but I messed around when I did the paperwork and didn't update that for y'all. 112 refusals, 26 no patient found. We had 24 canceled prior to arrival, and the number that's to watch, the site calls went up by 100%. So we have increased to 35 site calls in the month of February. Once again, I can't say enough about ACSO and Natchez PD. They are right there with us, and they're working through making sure that those crews aren't assaulted. And they're working those out with us. They're doing a really good job. 226 multiple calls, same timeline, that occurred in the county, and there were 2 flights directly from the field, from the ambulance, not going into the hospital first, just rendezvousing with the ambulance and going directly to a level 2 facility. Had 135 hours on the wall at Merritt. 2 days where I had to actually assign staff to get ambulances freed up for calls, where they actually took gurneys and sat in there and babysitted patients. Had 1 crew member that went out, was not COVID, but we quarantined anyway, just like it is. So, month of February, we had 1 out. We made them go through a mandatory quarantine for that. We're looking at 161 emergency responses that could have been faster, but that being held on the wall, that's slowing those down. That's not the closest truck going. Sometimes there's 2 and 3 trucks held up there. I'm working with the hospital trying to get that sorted out, but it's going to come down where they're going to have to prioritize getting those trucks back 10-8. That's the way it is. We can't sit up there for an hour plus. We just can't do it. We're looking at a payroll impact for me in February at around $16,200 up there holding the wall. To kind of give you an update on where we're at with the new units, we're continuing to deploy those out. We're, we spent, it's initially $1 million in purchase of those things. We're right now at around $48,000 that we paid to the county in licensure for those units, and we continue to go through that process. Looking at $15,000 in stretcher upgrades and another $6,500 just in the fleet retrofitting these things. So you're going to continue to see those newer trucks being deployed. And we're really coaching them on watching their head clearance, because we got about 1.5 inches of clearance at Merritt with those new units. I don't know why they built them that much taller, but we're literally about 1.5 inches of clearance going under that canopy. So we're coaching the crews as we deploy those to be aware of their head space going in and out of driveways, under awnings, at doctor's offices and everywhere else, because those things have the ability to reach up there and touch something and tear that air conditioner off the top. So, y'all have any questions for me? If not, that's my report.
No, well, I appreciate it. Definitely working on that response, your response time. I appreciate you bringing to the board exactly what was happening, because you hear a couple times the ambulance is taking a little longer to be here on a couple different scenes. So I appreciate you bringing that forward, and that way knowing that y'all getting that worked out. And I appreciate the board, the board have any more comments for them. If there be no more comments, thank you for your job you do.
Absolutely, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Tim. All right. Next, department report.
Good morning, board. First thing I have is some EWPs. We have 3 sites that the date is June the 20th for being completion dates. I talked to Mr. Ford about it. He said he spoke with Norman. I had got an email that would be no extension, but he said he had talked to Norman and said once we get started, break ground, we would get extensions. But I just need to let y'all know there's 3 sites that should be finished by June the 20th. And those sites are 24 Lincoln Heights and 2 on Magnolia Bluffs.
All right. Yes, sir.
How far are we from putting those out to bid? How far out are we from putting those out to bid?
I have a plat to Mr. Scott by the end of the week, and once we get that, we'll be ready. Once we get those properly, we'll be ready.
I'll engage other attorneys to help get that.
Next thing I have just an update on the asphalt project. We started off slow. They had a lot of training to do, did the weather and things like that, but the last few weeks they've been running pretty well. They're getting a lot done now. I know we got rain in the forecast for the next 3 days, so we'll see how they are, but the asphalt project is up and moving now. Mr. Gray had mentioned about 16 Southview Drive. Scott, we can address that now, or?
I think it's 21.
Well, it's 16 and 21.
21, we already have permission from the state to do the things we need to do and apply for reimbursement. 16, just out of abundance of caution, because he was claiming that was his section, we put that one down as a menace as well. So the notifications all went out, and we can open it for a public hearing for a menace property.
So moved.
It's been moved by Supervisor Gray, it's been seconded by Supervisor Hutchins to open up for a public hearing. There being discussion. All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Aye. Any opposed, nays have same right, okay?
If Raleigh or Ricky or myself wants to talk about how bad it is out there, we certainly can.
It's bad. As I said before,
the way you come into this neighborhood, it's a really nice neighborhood. In fact, you know, nice houses, everyone taking good care of it, and you get to the end of the road and it's like a third world country out there. It's a disaster. And we've been out there asking the guy to get it cleaned up, so forth, going back and forth with the state. We got finally permission from the Secretary of State to clean the edge of the cul-de-sac. And this guy comes out and starts hollering about this is his stuff or whatever. And so that's why we put 16 down along with it. Not that 16 is bad. There's a bunch of abandoned cars, there's tires, bumpers, things like that just all over the place. They constantly get in the way of our right of way, and we have to move some stuff off of there. That creates some issues. Just not a good situation, and the neighborhood certainly deserves better.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I was out there Friday evening, and the neighbors are complaining. And then this morning I come and the road manager say they are burning bumpers out there, so that's going to affect the whole neighborhood. And I just don't think we have no other choice but to do what we got to do for the safety of the other people that live in the Southview, Grandview, Grafton area.
All right.
Mr. Gray, has anybody called the DEQ because you can't burn plastic bumpers?
I went Thursday, there's a pile out there at the end of the road, and I said it was still smoking, when I went through. And he's bringing them up there, like I said, burn them. I guess he's getting them or whatever off of them, trying to resell those, but he told me, in the previous meeting I brought up that he's cleaning up for 3 local body shops and disposing of them, and he bring them and put them there down in the file behind his house. Said that's how he makes his living, but like I said, something needs to be done.
Yeah, I think fumes coming off those probably toxic.
And I have no idea how the county's gonna dispose of all those plastic bumpers once we go collect them and get them up, because it's not one, it's hundreds of them, and he's still bringing them. I mean, my last meeting I brought pictures, and he's still hauling plastic bumpers in.
The 3 of us have all had pictures, and I'm sure y'all seen them, so we can submit those to the minutes as well. Just look.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this would be appropriate at this time, but I think this board needs to send something out to these body shops to let them know that they are responsible for getting rid of whatever they're gonna get rid of, and they are allowing somebody to come by and pick it up and take it to a illegal site. So at some point, they're gonna have to be held responsible too. They ought to know better.
All right, well, we definitely will look at that legal side of it and see what we need to do from there.
And on Ratcliffe,
Hold on,
okay.
Mr. President. How are we gonna handle this?
Close the hearing and adjudicate it in minutes.
Okay. I move that we close the hearing.
If that's the board's.
Yeah, it's been properly moved by Supervisor Gray to close the hearing. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. There be any discussion?
Yeah, I have a discussion. Where are we gonna put these bumpers once we just gonna close this meeting first, we're gonna discuss.
Alright, if there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay, cast sign right, public hearing, closed. Now, Ms. Hutchins, you can.
Yeah, where we gonna put these bumpers once we get collected?
I think it's a good idea if we contact NDEQ in this situation, if there's already illegal burning, they probably will be able to give us guidance as to how it's supposed to stuff as well.
If we can go to a landfill.
That would be my assumption, but I don't want to say what absolutely.
Getting head nods from the people in the back there.
It could.
See, that's what I'm saying, I don't know if this can go to a landfill, then that.
Either way, that NDEQ gives the guidance, if we adjudicated a miss, that gives us the ability to start cleaning it up and disposing of it.
Or they go try it or.
I don't think.
I don't think try to take, that's the reason I asked, I don't try it, be a different.
Yeah, I don't think they.
I give care of the Jefferson County, or call and see if Jefferson County will take it.
And you say, Supervisor Gray, you say these bumpers are coming from, auto places? Body shops and stuff
I
like that?
spoke with him, he told me he's cleaned up for 3 body shops, he told me this.
Savage yards, I wonder what they would really be taking.
What it is busted ones, where they
They
had
busted
wrecks
ones?
and they busted, and
Okay,
he
so
does
they
just
can't
get the
be
little
used.
emblems and things like that off of them, I guess that he thinks he could resell it and he was, I guess burning them, I guess is happening, because I'm, seeing evidence of that.
Mr. President, at this point, I know we closed the hearing and we discussing this. At this point, it's a danger to the health of the people that live out there to have to inhale smoke from burning rubber. And if you look on down behind one of those houses, I got a picture of it, I was gonna bring you this board. It looked like we got 100 tires down there. So, this is something been going on a long time. The people that live out there, they tired of it, I'm tired of it. And whatever we need to do, we need to go on.
They want to declare the man's property as said, so we need to declare that man's property's been properly moved by Supervisor Gray and properly second, by Supervisor Hutchins to declare the man's property, and we'll get proceeding how to move on. All in favor, any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nay, has the same right, so it's been a man's property. All right, now I think coming to my issue, that same issue.
I've been through twice last week, President Gaines, he has started putting up a fence. I have not made contact with him, both times I've been there, he has been home. He has set posts to set a fence up, but he's got siphon wire laying there by the fence. That will not work. We know the board fence is what the county asked him to put up to do it. So I will try to make contact, but last week I went by 2 different times, did not make contact with the landlord.
Yeah, and we made contact, and I won't hold up for a minute's discussion, but it's some of the same issues over here. He had a ton of tires, ton of cars, and all like this, so we're trying to figure out where would we be at, for liability wise, moving his vehicles and stuff like that. So, but see, we make contact with him, and meanwhile, we'll try to see where we at legally to get those people out there some relief also. All right? Thank you.
All right, next thing I have, assistant road manager will be off on medical leave starting March the 9th. He'll be off 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how his recovery comes after surgery, so I just want to let y'all know that. Next thing I have, the 2 tractors and 2 trucks are in. Just after this meeting, we can get a check and pick those up.
Yeah, we got a check.
Okay, thank you. Next thing I have, Ms. Hutchins, I discussed this with you, or one of the employees asked you about it, and you talked about it. The foreman and assistant road manager are monthly, they can go bi-weekly. I've talked to Scott about this too. Just bring it before the board. I have Steve Melton, Tim Chapman, Rashard Scott, want to go bi-weekly instead of monthly.
Scott?
Yes. Fine with those employees.
Yeah. All right. But do I need a motion? All right, can I get a motion?
So moved.
They want from month to about a week.
It's about 8 weeks.
Call your name, Robert.
Steve Melton, Tim Chapman, Richard Scott.
And let me say this too, they would not be getting overtime, am I
No,
correct?
you're correct.
Yeah, so make sure that is there.
Yeah, this
How you
is
want to,
out.
how we just don't make them get overtime. They just want to be paid.
I had one foreman, Marcus Washington, he gonna stay 1 week, and Mills didn't bother her, she said.
I made a motion. Second.
Second. Second. We didn't want to put you on the spot, Wes.
All right. Yeah, the motion. All right, all in favor, vote by using sign of aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nays got the same right, motion carried.
Next thing I have, it wasn't on my list, but, I'm gonna let Mr. Wilson. And, she's here about, Pro-Pray, I'm sure the guys are headed there this morning. I talked to Tim, me and Tim went out and met her, looked at the rock size, let it drive, they're going out this morning to about put some rock and to put some floor fill on that, and then they got a hole on back that they got to fill in that's got pretty deep or scoured out, so they are, planning to get on that today.
Okay. Did you need anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay.
It's going to be discussed.
Yeah.
I think I need to leave now.
You don't have to leave, you don't have to leave,
Okay,
but
thank you.
anytime you need anything, all you gotta do is let Robbie know or let me know.
Appreciate it very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. That's all I have. Y'all have anything for me?
Get all funds you can.
All right.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
It's quite a nice report, but up the 11 Grafton Heights, I think I sent it to you, the guy said he had developed a lift erosion on the side where we went out there last time.
On
Did you check?
On the EWP?
Yes. We got a berm all the way down the side of his house, and it eroded last time. So could you check on that, the 11 Grafton?
That's one, is that the one that was approved? Peggy? Or the one at the end of the street?
No. That's the one at the end of the street. This is when you first turn on Grafton and go down to the
Take that
right.
left right there, it's been approved. You take a left and it's right there between the house and what, me and you met out there? I'll look at
Yeah,
it.
just look at it.
Okay, I'll look at it.
Make sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Department reports next.
Just some updates. We'll start with Burke Road, our archaeologist. He's waiting on a response from the Wildlife and Fisheries to allow him to do the cultural resources they're now requesting. So he did submit that a couple weeks ago, so he's just waiting on that response. When he does that, then he'll go out and do his resource, the survey, and then submit that to them for their approval.
That's Mr. Frank?
Yeah. The EWP Group 4, the contract is complete the punch items for that project. Therefore, we recommend the release of the payment for the retainage that was being held for Camo Construction.
I'll let the meeting know.
The striping only project for Liberty Road, Transfer Road, in North Palestine, segment 1 and 2. The bid opening for that project again is Monday, March the 20th at 10 o'clock a.m. Morgantown Road, we were compiling the specs and construction drawing for phase 1 of that project. Then we got a call from MDOT asking us to submit a KMZ file. That's pretty much just a file that shows the limits of the right-of-way, and so they can do their, right-of-way assessment as well as determine what needs to be done with the environmental. So we created that document and submitted it back to them. And so we're back to compiling those specs and drawings for them. Hopefully, by the end of this week or first of next week, we'll be submitting those specs and drawings for phase 1 to them. Phase 2, we're almost done with phase 2, so we will be submitting those to our QC team to do their final review of those drawings and prepare to have that project advertised and ready to go for construction. Right now, we're looking at May 17th as the bid opening for phase 2 of Morgantown Road. If not much need to be done after that QA/QC results, assessment, we may be able to move that date up, but right now we're going May 17th, with advertisement being April the 13th and April the 20th for phase 2. One thing that may have been concerned because of the adjustments to the plan, we may have to have a dual signature between myself and MDOT requested my stamp to be on the drawing. So it may have to be a dual between myself and JKS because they were the original designers on the project. So that may be one step that may have to be added to this process.
Let's hope not.
It's simply just they just need to stamp it. So they did the design. So if I just take them to them and get them to stamp it while I'm standing, we could do that. Are there any questions for me while I'm here?
There'll be no more other than, I gotta get that address for you, mail the line. Y'all like for you to take a little look at that, today with, the constituents.
I'll get it there right now.
I get Robbie, I don't know, Robbie, you'll be here, would you get to look at it with him?
I'll be here, you can look at it here, I'll go look at it too, we'll discuss it once we get through. I mean, he's gonna go now, and I'll look.
Okay.
Mr. Smith.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I know what he said, the county had been there and looked at it, and so y'all looked at it, and we'll get him look at it, so I don't know, but we can, that's why I want to see can y'all help him, what can you do? I want him to be there, that's why I want you to be there to make sure everything's. All right, that being all, any question?
Go ahead.
I just want to ask this question. Has Jordan Kaiser finished all their updates and projects with AWPs?
No,
They have not?
no ma'am.
Okay. I was just wondering, because they're never here to give a report on anything, you know? So,
Yeah.
Mr. President.
All right.
Mr. Ford, just want to thank you for all the hard work you done put into putting up with us on Morgantown Road, because, I mean, this is a project that I've been working on since I've been here, and Supervisor Gang been working on since he been here, and Supervisor Hutchins been working on before we even got here. And seemed like we're gonna get some relief to the citizens out there. So Natural Democrat, when you print this, print it plain and clear, where the people on Morgantown Road can understand exactly what's going on, because they deserve to get their road fixed. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Ford.
All right. That being,
To be clear, you're looking at a groundbreaking mid-June to start that project?
No, the bid opening.
You don't make it, yeah.
And so we have to do the bid opening at the city. And then their next board meeting will be what we recommend, the best contract is for that project. And then we got a little contract, so sometime in June.
Sometime in June, we'll start work. June starting work unless the phase delay. Phase 2, weirdly.
Phase 2 of 2 phases, right?
yes,
You got phase 1 and a phase 2.
yeah.
Mr. Ford, I've got a request for some citizens that want a speed bump, and you need to look into it on Wynola Road.
is that your petition?
It's a petition here for that. It's not very clear, but
Is it 75%?
well, there's only like 8 or 9 people on it, so there's not many people on the road.
I think the road changed. Once the lanes change, you start off right, and
Yeah.
then when you get down into it, it changes to that road.
Right.
So I know the road.
Yes. Do you need a copy of the petition? Okay.
Somebody email me a copy of it.
Okay, I'll give it for that.
Okay. There'll be no more, thank you.
I appreciate you all's time as always.
Thank you.
Ms. Ford. I need the, don't have my other phone, I need the phone number so I can.
My phone.
Yeah, it's on my desk.
I just write, hey, give it to me. Write it down on a piece of paper.
I call it out.
His phone number?
All right. All right, departmental reports next.
I'm stepping in for Chief Neely this morning. Nola, he's been working on the county internet, that's the reason he's not here. No, he said to tell y'all about the Nola cameras. They're just trying to get them logged in now.
Yes, Mr. President, I was just on the phone with Mr. Neely, and the NOLA guy's gonna contact Corvette and get him set up on the conference call, because he wants to talk about some funding that's available, that he needed some attention to immediately. So Corvette's gonna get with him, and he'll be able to talk to the board.
Has all of them been installed? All of them been installed?
No.
No.
They had not, they've been having a problem with different, internet, and, you know, like a few places closed, a few people said, you know, didn't, maybe, I guess, change their mind something, but maybe that's what he's gonna talk about. So some of those areas, I know they had not all been.
Installed.
Okay. Only other thing I have, I got the trash report in the county. District 1's 39 bags, District 2's 56, District 3 155, District 4 91, and District 5 25. So District 3 won this month.
Mr. President,
That's it.
I got a couple of areas, Wilderness Road. They need to check on Wilderness Road because steam plant in Wilderness. Thank you, sir.
Let me explain why District 1 has 150.
That means yours is cleaned up though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way I take that too.
That's because I make calls, you know that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you do?
I make calls.
Well,
Because
somebody
I
needs to
get
explain to
complaints.
people not to throw
Look.
trash out of the windows of their
Yes,
cars.
I get complaints,
Because I don't know why people do that. I mean, just so
so I have to make the call.
highways and roads are trash cans.
Get it.
Exactly.
He's down the next day, we're cleaning it up.
Huh? Yeah. He was through? You was through?
No, I'm not. I was, of course, you got your trash report for the state. I don't know what y'all normally get off of it.
You know.
Total number of bags was 171 bags off the state highway. The jail report looks like it's for housing, the police department. Inmates total housing cost was $10,020.
Yeah.
You said $10,020
$10,020
for housing inmates?
for housing inmates for the police department. And I have one pay change for Jerome Timmons. It's going down to $17.91.
Wait a minute, let's see.
See it going down?
Yes, for disciplinary reasons.
Let me see what we got. Do I have paperwork?
I do.
Hang on, I got it. All right, let me see, it's going down to 1791?
Yes, sir.
What do we need to do is go from, or do we need to know where he was?
We just got the findings, it's,
Okay.
that goes on the minutes itself.
Okay, well, it's, you heard, request of the sheriff, decrease in pay, hourly rate $17.91. Can I get a motion? Been moved, properly moved by Supervisor Milton and properly second by Supervisor Wilson. All in favor, any discussion? There be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign aye. Any opposed, nay, has same right. Huh?
I'm done.
Not yet. Well, he said that. Huh? You wanna do this, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Well, it was, actually brought up last time when he was here, and it was just paperwork and signed, Jamla newborn, hourly rate was $16, an hour, and we just need to get it approved.
I think she quit.
Already?
Chief Neely told me do not present that because she's not longer with us. So, I understand it was in my folder too. He called me right before I got up here.
Can we get a resignation letter?
She just started.
Oh, what's it?
That was just a pay increase for.
Oh, that was a pay increase, okay.
Yeah, it was a pay increase.
I will see if I get a resignation letter for you. If you have one. Normally they don't.
All right, thank you.
All right.
I think
She shouldn't have to send a resignation. She just will go through human resource because she's not one of our.
No, she has to a resignation.
You still need it?
You don't want it for a person that's
I think the sheriff department,
Yeah.
it's totally different.
So different. Don't worry about the resignation letter.
That's different.
Cause you got it. Okay? All right, well, any more departmental reports? We got, I think Mr. Gibson is here, and I think I think it's gonna be a executive session, personnel issue.
Hi, I'm Tamika Gibson, the manager for Susan B. West, Lower Wolver Heights, and Cedarhurst here in Natchez.
Mr. President, is she here to talk about an employee?
She she had a problem, with, and I did not want to hear without the board hearing it. So I told her, well, she had already came, and then somebody told me for the call the president, and I told her it would be a board issue, so we can all get the same information at the same time.
I understand, Mr. Attorney, if she's talking about one of our employees.
We can always have a close determination, determine what she's talking about, see if it qualifies or not.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, sir. So,
If we cut you off, you'll have to sit and wait. But,
Because we gotta clear the board.
yeah, in case it's a
Okay,
executive
well-
session.
no, go ahead. You
Go ahead and go, but if I cut you off, that's what it's about.
Okay. I was here maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, on the clerk that's over there, Vernon Johnson.
Okay. Y'all want to?
Stop her right
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Want me to stop?
Yep. Just
Okay.
like.
All right, let's do the project NOLA. Let me see. All right. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. You ready?
Okay.
But you're just gonna make us, president, huh? Get, can you state your name? Can you state
Sure,
your,
Ryan Legard with Project NOLA, the director of Project NOLA.
okay? And you can,
And I thought y'all had questions for me. I didn't know y'all were looking for a presentation. I thought y'all had questions.
I mean, what questions?
Yeah, we were actually called from the sheriff's department, told that you wanted to talk to the board about some funding that was,
Available?
yeah, some funding sources that needed attention.
I thought it was more that y'all may have had questions. So, I have to assume you're referring to the DOJ grant?
I got a call from
Or
Major
the body
Neely.
cameras to go around. So, I can kind of give you the general basics to it, but there was some years ago, Dr. Stephen Lawberry, he actually helped with several grants. He helped similar grants, Baton Rouge, Biloxi, Natchez, at the same time. He applied for a particular crime camera grant, and all three were approved, one for Baton Rouge, Biloxi, and Natchez. It involved, as memory serves, Vidalia, Adams County, Natchez Police Department, with, it was Walter Armstrong's chief at the time, and forgive me, I do not recall the name of the previous mayor there. So the money was awarded, and regrettably, even though the other opportunities, we've already gotten the cameras up, we just haven't had the occasion to get those cameras up in Natchez yet. From what I understand, we're waiting on the camera site location to be selected by the police department. Is one of the major hurdles. Something that came to light Friday was Addie Stover with the city of Natchez. She mentioned to me that she didn't think that Adams County Sheriff's Office of Vidalia would participate any longer with the grant opportunity. I told her I would be surprised to hear that. I didn't think that was correct. After the conversation I had with Addie Stover, I reached out to the sheriff's office, was told that they absolutely positively still want to be involved with the grant opportunity, and then I put that in email to Addie Stover after that conversation. So I don't know if y'all had questions regarding any of this. I'm happy to help them however I can.
Well, I'm actually sorry that the sheriff's department, somebody here did not give us a clear picture on what is going on, but we do know if this is a grant, we want to be a part of it. And I heard you said it was with the previous chief and previous mayor that we was there, but maybe we'll get in contact with the necessary people, but we do want to be a part of it and take advantage of those other projects, those cameras and, that we have to offer.
Absolutely, and of course, we're here to help however we can. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to help there, and really appreciate everyone's support. I'm sure we're all happy to do what we can to help the police, the sheriff's office, and I know the cameras are working out well there for you, as they do everywhere else we have them.
All right.
So please, what more can I do to help?
Yeah.
Questions or anything?
I got one question.
Yeah, somebody have a question.
My question is, there's Project NOLA cameras, or there are cameras in a lot of places that I go in, that save people's lives and help communities get down to the nitty gritty because people don't want to talk. My question is that we have some areas that we want to put cameras in but don't have the proper Wi-Fi. What do you suggest we do because the cameras are needed?
Hold on just 1 second. Somebody just walked in the hall, 1 second.
I don't understand why I walked in.
Okay, please. Okay. Come on, you on the hallway. Okay, I'm sorry, gentlemen, someone just walked in my office. So what was the question?
The question was, what do we need? We need cameras in certain areas that don't have Wi-Fi. What would be the suggestion to getting cameras in those areas?
Okay, so you can go ahead and connect the cameras to 4G. So that's something, of course, we do with, we do elsewhere all the time. But I believe some of the cameras that we have in Natchez are connected to 4G. So it's much easier when a camera is connected to the person's home, business, church, school. That way you're using the internet that's already there, and it saves you the cost of having to get 4G through your local provider.
Okay.
Now, a popular solution if you want to do 4G is you get the cameras like normal, and then y'all also work closely with an installation company called East South Technologies, and East South Technologies creates these 4G boxes. It's one of the ways you go about doing it. So you would use wherever your current cell provider is, whether it be Verizon, T-Mobile, and they would go ahead and you would hand the SIM cards over, for example, East South would construct a box, and then that box would be placed on any pole that has power, and then boom, there you got cameras anywhere you want to put cameras.
All right, great. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll get with the sheriff and see exactly, and get with the city and get everybody on one accord. And we appreciate all your help, and we appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate what your camera's doing for Adams County already. And thank you. Will there be any more questions for him? All right, well, we thank you for your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Y'all take care of that.
Right, take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Joe Fair.
Thank you. I'm Joey Furr, landscape architect, 635 Main Street, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Your landscape architects have been working on the field and stadium renovation at Chester Willis Field. So I put together this presentation, kind of where we are and where the project is budgetarily. I think at the beginning of this project, we were asked to renovate the field, put new lights, but try to make this a venue that where it would be a good place for the high schools to play, a good place for traveling showcase tournaments to play, potentially some of the junior college or semi-pro leagues to come here and play, but actually make this, it's kind of an old jewel that needs to be polished, and so we wanted to look at kind of the whole facility, starting with the field. So the first, I'll just go through each page since my presentation was on PowerPoint. So we need to reconfigure the field somewhat in order to make it closer to D1 regulations or make it within the parameters of D1 regulations. There's also some really funny spaces, places in the field where you can't actually pick up a ball and throw it from one base to another because you've got obstructions that are actually on the field, the dugouts and so forth. And we also wanted to just look at some of the geometry. So we're going to end up with a field that the darker rendered area would all be artificial turf, with the exception of the warning track around home plate. We'll have 325-foot foul lines and 400 plus or minus foot center field, which is all part of the D1 regulations, which we're trying to meet. We would also, the 6 stars on there is a six pole system for lighting, ball field lighting that we're proposing must go LED lighting, sports lighting that provides the safety concerns that you need. 50-foot candles in the infield and 30 in the outfield. If you look at the project cost for the first project, and we are almost through our construction documents for this. This project would be bid first, mainly because we have to build the outfield, which will be a natural turf field, which will include subsurface drainage. But we'll have to sprig that so we can get this grass grown in before next season. So we want to get that out to bid, and we also want to get specialty contractors involved to do their expertise of field builders. Also included in that project is relocating one of the batting cages to consolidate them into 2, potentially having to upgrade nets and so forth, putting bullpens on either side. So the price for that first project that we are near getting ready to bid, the ball field amenity project, the one we're close to being able to, is estimated. This is our architect's estimate of $770,000. Ball field lighting is estimated by Musco installed at $480,000. Of course, these are both estimates. If you look to the next sheet, you can see the red areas are areas that we're going to have to do some demolition. We've got some old backstop dugouts, some old walls and so forth that have to be demolished in order for us to fix the geometry of the field, but also they're in a pretty bad state of situation. So we would demolish that. We would have to take some of the fencing down. There's some new fencing out there that we're keeping, but we would have to realign the outfield fences and do some things to drainage. One of the things that we're having to do is, in order to get enough depth in our outfields, is to back home plate up into the pavilion a little bit. So we would actually slide home plate back a little bit, which gives us more distance in the outfields. We would put subsurface drainage under both the artificial and the natural turf, so it would drain. We would have a venue that would be playable. We would add the backstops, the batting cages, the bullpens in the corners, and that would kind of facilitate that process. So if you look to the next page, if you could move along to this page here, which is a rendering of the field from kind of an aerial view of center field of how it would change. Primarily, you can see the dugouts there, and you can see the change in the configuration of the area to the back with new netting and backstops. If you switch to the next page, you should have an existing shot from outfield to second base. This shot, this page right here. If y'all can kind of catch with me, because I jumped through some pages without asking you to change. And then the next page after that would be the proposed of how the field would look from there. Visually doesn't change much in that picture, but it does make a lot of change in terms of the quality. If you go to the next one, there's a shot of the existing dugouts, and you can see you've got places where balls could be in play and be behind fences. There's some safety concerns with that, and you can just kind of see the state of the dugouts there. So if you flip to the next page, you should be on this one here. That's the new design of the proposed dugouts. The dugouts are pulled off the field pretty much by reconfiguration, and we'd have a nicer dugout with protective fencing and so forth in the front. The next page is an existing kind of behind home plate and looking across at another dugout. Again, this is some of that reconfiguration of the backstops, but you can start to get an idea of how we're going to do the netting. It'll be pretty much clear view from the grandstands out to the fields. And the playing surface, the playing geometry is better, it's safer, it's waterproof, and it just really upgrades kind of inside the fences. So this is that $1.25 million project that we're currently working on. We're proposing that the field be put out to bid, field work and whatever is required with backstops and walls and dugouts to be done as one project, and we can get that out to bid. Those kind of all go together in one project, so that project can start sometime in May is what we're hoping for. If you go to the next project, or the next page, I'm sorry, you can see that I've indicated renovated grandstands and restrooms. So you've got a really nice pavilion, covered pavilion. We did have our structural engineers come and assess it. Their idea was that tearing it down and rebuilding something similar would cost 2 to 3 times what it would cost to just renovate it. They did assess it from a structural standpoint, wind loading, updated wind loading guidelines, and initially they were a little skeptical about that since it was so old, but they feel like it is, with just a few improvements to the structure, it could withstand the new code as far as the loading on the canopy. The project to do that, if we get into renovating any of this stadium, we're likely going to have to provide new restrooms because your current facility does not have adequate ADA or adequate numbers for restrooms. So I believe, it's my opinion that in order to beat a code, to meet ADA code, we're going to have to add some restrooms. So I've included that in this $900,000 project that you see up to the right. And then basically that includes completely renovating the grandstands and adding the restrooms and doing some other improvements, around the backstop area for spectators to view. If you go to the next page, this kind of illustrates why. The top left corner shot is a picture of the 2 existing bathrooms. The shot to the right is a picture of the men's room. There's just 2 toilets in there. You've got about an 800-seat facility. Requires much more than that. Bottom left is the state of the planks on the bleachers. You've got pretty much open riser bleachers, and you've got wood that's past its prime and is deflecting when you stand on it. It's really not a safe situation. So, from a life safety standpoint, I think we need to do something with that. It's not just cosmetic improvement; it's actually life safety improvement. If you go to the next page, there's just 4 other shots of kind of how the stadium is. Top right is there's 2 levels of box seats. The top left and top right. The top right picture, that backstop that is broken, that's the wall and the concrete immediately behind it we're proposing to take out so that we can slide home plate back. And that actually gives us the playing surface we need, but this backstop would need to be replaced regardless. Bullpens are out of standard and are poorly located, as well as batting cages we want to consolidate. If you go to the next page, that's kind of a view looking down the box seats of the bleachers, and then after we do the renovation, you flip over, we've got a view of what the proposed is. So we're taking these corners and making kind of cafe areas so that if you're at the concession stand, you can have a place to sit. We're not having to build bleachers there. We've got plenty of bleachers. But what that $900,000 does include is cleaning, painting, putting a new roof, a new metal roof on the pavilion. It also includes all new aluminum seats and risers and stairs and appropriate ADA spaces and everything we need to bring it up to code. The next page is a view looking the opposite direction. And you can kind of see the changes. You can kind of see where that front row of box seats comes out. We're also proposing in the remaining box seat section, we would actually put individual seats, so that those may be able to be sold as a premium seat for the schools or for an event that you have. They're right behind on play to be a little more comfortable seat. So that's the proposal that we're making. You can see the concession stand stays where it is. Our thought is we would take the existing restrooms, turn those into additional storage for the concession stand at some point, and build new restrooms somewhere else. The next picture is a view as you're walking. You would be walking in kind of the main entrance that we're proposing, which is between the concession stand and the grandstand along right field. We would remove the lighting electrical panel and relocate that, as we have to redo that anyway for the sports field lighting. So you can see there's another cafe area, kind of ballparky area on the side that it takes the place of that, and the dugout is reconfigured. The next shot is a shot of the left field batting cages. So we're proposing that those go into the right field outfield. There's more space over there, and we feel like for developing hitting and coaching, it'd be better to have those two cages together. So we relocate this one over to the other side, and then we're proposing to build, use shipping containers, have those modified off-site and brought in and hooked up to your water and sewer as your restroom. The number of toilets required for this number of seats is about 25. And what we're proposing here is individual toilet rooms rather than a men's room and a female and a ladies' room. And because when you do that, you lose efficiency, and you actually have to provide more toilets. So it was going to put us into a larger shipping container, and it was going to cost, those were going to cost more. So we're trying to make this as effective as we can. But every room would have a door, and there would be a toilet, and then there would be a common area where you wash hands and so forth. This also reduces the number of ADA toilets that you have to have because you're doing a clustered common restroom. This is something that we're moving to in most of our parks and venues because it's more cost effective. And it actually works better from a large crowd standpoint because you don't have a situation where you don't have enough ladies' rooms and the ladies are all standing in line and the men are not. And so this way you can have just, a gender neutral toilet room with somebody's in there by themselves, and then there's one common hand washing area. So that would go in the left field area. Those would, as I said, would be fabricated and shipped in. If you look at the next, we also are not really compliant from access to the building. There's no real parking designated for the facility, and there's no ADA parking, and there's not much of an entry, to the area. So the idea is to take kind of the point there and put some paved parking with proper ADA access into the stadium. You've got to have enough ADA parking. You've got to have an accessible way all the way into your stadium. And of course, once we get into the stadium, we have that handled as well, so that someone that needs a ramp or is in a wheelchair or is elderly can utilize flush level entrances or ramps that are all to code. And then a little bit of improvement to the front facade. So if you flip over to the next, you can see what we're proposing. It's pretty simple, but I do think it makes a large improvement in the venue, in the way it looks. We would move the actual entrance away from the street and back in. We'd also propose a crosswalk to the school's parking lot, so we have overflow parking there that they can cross the little ditch there and get right into the stadium. And it also puts a brand on the ballpark. Like I said, it's got some nice bones. We just need to clean them up a little bit and put a little lipstick on, and I think it's going to be a beautiful venue. If you keep flipping, there's just a couple more views of that area, and then I've got a few kind of aerial views around the entire ballpark, so that you can kind of get a feel for where everything is and kind of generally what we're proposing. Our estimates are much more detailed than just these numbers. We just boiled them down to the numbers in the for the presentation, so it can be a little bit more. And these are estimates, and we still have the ability to move our budget number, up or down depending on the pleasure of the board. I think that, but there is a certain amount of dollars that we have to put into the project to get it up to standard, if we get into the grandstand area. So if you look at the final sheet, it's just kind of an assessment of all of those project numbers. You can see I've got field amenities, ball field lights, stadium, and the entrance plaza. Total construction of 3.39, $2,309,000. There are architectural and fees involved that need to come out of the total project money. So we have a total, that should say total project, not total fees. I apologize for that. The total project is $2,580,000. What we're proposing as a thought is that the state of Mississippi does allow a lease purchase for sports lighting, particularly LED if they're energy efficient. We've done this before in Ocean Springs, and we've done it multiple times in Louisiana. So that is a good way to purchase the lights outside of your necessarily bonds that you have. You would just pay a lease payment, and at the end of that 15-year period, you would own the lights. Generally, those leases, because generally you're going from an old type lighting system to an LED lighting system, and you save on energy costs, and because the LEDs are way more efficient. So generally, the savings in light costs does somewhat balance out any interest you would pay, or in some cases even the note for the lights. Depends on how much you were using the lights before and what you had. So that puts us, if you were to do a lease purchase, the total from bonds puts us at about $2.1 million. So that's what I've got for now. I probably talked a little too long, but I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions? Any questions?
I just want to thank you, Joey. We've been working on this for a few months now. It's apparent the amount of work that went into putting this proposal together. No matter where you travel throughout the state and people you talk to, from people in their 50s and below, even 60s, remember playing ball at Chester Willis Ball Field. And they all talk about the character of the field and the history of the field, but then they also talk about the shape it's in right now. And it was just 2 years ago that it was all over social media from some schools from out of town blasting the facilities when they were here playing in a tournament. And it was pretty embarrassing, to be quite honest. The improvements to the field, I think, can't stop at the field. If we're going to put this money in the field, we've got to put the money in the bathrooms. Just this week, I got a phone call that the bathrooms were backed up or flooding onto the floor during the game. It's unsanitary. It's not ADA compliant. And the bleachers and the entryway, nothing out there is ADA compliant. A grandparent, a sibling who may be handicapped, or a parent who may be handicapped has difficult access to that field, going to see their child or sibling or grandchild play ball. We talked for years and years about doing things for our kids, and this is a step in the right direction. This is a cost that everybody in this community can appreciate. This is something that every time you pass through the heart of Natchez, you look over there and you see this field. Yes, we're short. Well, we've been short on everything. We were short on Morgantown Road, we're short on our striping project on our paving. The cost of stuff has gone up. If we're gonna do this to this field, we've gotta make it ADA compliant. I do think there are some areas we can cut. I think we can cut some of the parking out. I think we do need to have some ADA handicap parking close to the field. But I think some of these back spots, we all know how expensive asphalt is. I think we could cut $150,000 out of this. But folks, thousands of people visit this park a year, as it is now. You know, my thoughts are we get this built next year, opening February. We have a huge tournament. We have Natchez High, Cathedral, Vidalia, Franklin County, Wilkinson County, all come and play a huge round robin 5-day tournament and showcase what will be the nicest high school stadium in the state of Mississippi, period, the end. So, I think we need to find the money to renovate the grandstands and to do the restrooms, and we need to look at, I guess, a lease purchase on the lights if that's what we can do to make this work. I'm gonna make the motion that we get $400,000 from ARPA funds to match this $2.1 billion and look at the lease purchase on the lights. But there's a motion.
You got a motion? There's been a motion made by Supervisor Middleton. Can I get a second? It's been seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion?
I agree with Wes on this. If we're gonna do it, we might as well do it right. The field's unsafe as it is. I've been getting calls, no lighting in the ladies' restrooms with different things. And one thing about Johnny, you call him up and tell him you got a problem, he goes and takes care of it. But still, it is an embarrassment to see that park in the shape it's in.
All right. Any more discussion?
Yeah,
How much was that?
480.
400?
And 80, right here.
He say 400.
400,000.
It's just 400 or 480?
It's 400 to get to the 2 million. We're gonna cut 100,000 out of parking and then make the lease purchase on the lights.
Let me say this too. This field here is in dire need of that. This is an asset to Adams County. If we do this is a state-of-the-art field that I'm looking at. And what is really needed here, like I say, when you can travel, and I'm watching as I travel, all the parks and stuff like that when I'm traveling, and you see they are so up to date, and you think about back home. You know, we need to be there. I always say we need to be there. I take pictures and I say, you know, this is how I want my park to look, or this is how I want the field to look as I travel. And as Supervisor Middleton say, you build this, they would come. I always feel like you build something, they would come. And you would bring all kind of people here, all kind of conference here, all kind of people here to play ball. You know, you may even bring Alcorn, Jackson State. You just never know what kind of people would come. I just feel you build, they would come. You know, you watch that on TV where they built that field and all kind of people came. So I had to go with this. I am a.
All right, well, any more discussion?
Mr. President, I'm a sports man. I really don't have a problem with making our facility one of the best in the state of Mississippi. But in the process of making our facility the best in the state of Mississippi, it's gonna have to be some game changes and some rules set for this facility. Now, if the county gonna foot a bill for 200, for 2 million or 3 million or whatever the case may be, I don't have a problem with it. But when the time to come for all these people to come to our community and play in this facility, then with the revenues coming out of that facility, some of that need to come back to the county. Now, because I remember I used to go to the stadium up in Jackson, and I used to think that was Jackson State County. Jackson State facility, until I seen the people taking up the money, and they say, no, this is not Jackson State facility. So if we put something in place, because the people gonna come, but we gotta have something in place where some of the revenue got to go back into paying for what we done put out there. That's what I say.
All right, any more discussion?
Yeah, I'm gonna tag off that, because you're right about that. You build all this and then money goes to somebody else.
No, that don't work.
The other thing is, you talk about all the people that will come, and I've had this discussion before about all these people they come into Adams County, but they stay in Natchez, so all the revenue for the food, on the head and bed taxes for the rest of the hotels, we don't get any of it. And I still am unclear as to why the county doesn't have some kind of tax tacked on to that stuff, where we do get a little revenue for this, so we can upkeep stuff like this. There's gonna be some upkeep to this too. It's not just like you're gonna build it and that's done, we're done with it. We still gotta keep it up.
Yeah. So, all right. If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right, we thank you, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, that was a really in-depth.
Well, thank you. Just to let you know, we already knew we were proceeding, so we're proceeding in haste. We're going to probably have an advertisement out in a couple of weeks for the first phase, which will be the ball fields.
Okay.
And some of the stuff like that. And then we'll get that moving, and then we'll be working with you guys to figure out the lights and get that moving. And then the next step will be to do something for the rest of the work on the grandstand.
Yeah, we appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to having a great baseball facility when you finish.
Well, you will.
All right,
So,
thank
and
you.
they will come.
Thank you.
All right, I seen Mr. Howard come in. I want to recognize you. Need to speak. Come in and give us a report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for your expediting my presence.
All right.
We acknowledge that the court is doing well. It has found a notch in the market, and it has not ceased. It is steady. We do acknowledge 2 applications has been submitted for funds for infrastructure improvement. One is the Chrissy grant, which you can go to grants.gov and view it if you wish. I have website, email addresses if you wish. I also have, there's a grant been filed with the Mississippi Development Authority, which is a result of an effort of 15 of the state's ports on founding the Mississippi Port Council, on meeting, discussing, lobbying, asking, pleading, begging with some representatives of the state of Mississippi to introduce a bill, pass a bill, and then fund the account for infrastructure improvement monies for the state ports only, 100%. Some of you may be aware of it, but we started out, I think they put $1 million in it the first year after it was approved. Up to $20 million, we asked them for additional $20 million. And not sure where the ceiling may land, but we're reaching for the sky. In addition to that, there has always been the historical ports multimodal fund through the Department of Transportation. Applications are due the 31st of this month. We will resubmit, as we've always submitted to that fund since we've started. All of these applications, with the exception of the Chrissy, is for the construction, the completion of the new liquid loading dock. The Chrissy grant is for the rail improvement. I'm not real sure if the demand that has been presented will actually come to fruition, but if we get the grant, we've got some pledge money that we got to come up with, 20%. Always the case on the federal side of applications for money. There's lots of money out there, but they got a prerequisite of matching funds. We are careful that we don't engage Adams County in an overload. Right now, all we have is a target of about 900,000. That's matching money. Port is always willing to do as much as it can on that side of matching money. Once again, you can go to the website and view that application that has been submitted. Any future development, any future grants we will advise as they become made complete and public information. I do have some money for you guys today. One is lease payment on the building, the other one is debt retirement on the convertible age-long debt that we committed to repay. We do know that mid-year, last year, July 22, I think Supervisors Hutchinson, Bolton accompanied the lobbyists and representation from the federal level at the port. We had a discussion about the needs out there. We sent some documentation back to Washington, D.C. If there's any need for any of you all who are planning to go to Washington, D.C. soon, there are some information available for you to take with you if so desired.
I need it.
Always glad to see you, Monica.
That's right.
Always glad to see you.
Mr. President.
I was gonna tell him, before you leave, Mr. Howard, I definitely need your number, 'cause I need to get phone number so I can get with you.
My number. Seven days a week, 24 hours.
All right, Supervisor Gray.
I'll just ask a question that, we do have lobbyists, and, when you make a comment that you got something to take if you desire, so are y'all working with them?
We are with the lobbyists as often as the lobbyists are present, yes, with us. I don't have a daily dialogue.
My only concern and question is, they are getting paid, quite a bit of money from Adams County. And I would like to see them work on projects that's gonna benefit the county. So if we have some of this magnitude with the with the port, and I know we got some projects with the airport, then they haven't been before this board to let us know what they are working on for this county, so I cannot tell you what they're working on. I do know they're getting paid. So, to me, in my 20-some years of being in city and county government, when you getting paid a sum of money, you come before the governing body and let them know that what you're working on. Because at this particular time, I don't have no idea. But I'm quite sure the president gonna get this information to him, and Mr. President, I would say that you need to contact the airport if they have some information and get that information too.
Yes, sir.
Because me as one supervisor, I had no idea what they were working on. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Let me say this to President Daniels. I agree with Supervisor Gray. I know you all are supposed to be going to Washington this month. We need to know what projects are going to be taken to Washington and what they're going to talk about once they get to Washington. I know when we went to Washington, we had, I had them come to the board to tell what we was going for. So I know they hadn't been thus far, and the time is coming close of the date you all are supposed to be attending. So they need to come to us, like Supervisor Gray, and say what they're going to be submitting to Washington, D.C.
All right, well, like I said, they've been in close contact with the attorney and working with, I guess we hired the lobbyists together, we came together with the city and the county. And so they've been working, and I do agree. We should not, the president or vice president, nobody, we shouldn't come to the point that we going out of town and what we lobbying for, everybody should know. Because all the folks paying. So there will be a definite address and meeting. Scott, did you hear that?
I'm texting right now.
You're texting, they need to come and we'll figure out if they're here, what kind of updates you need, so everybody be on the same page.
That's all I'm asking.
Okay?
Cause
No
y'all
problem.
got a built-in lobbyists don't get paid nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like these two.
All right.
Well, we need to send both of them to work with projects.
Yes,
and so forth.
President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Howard, there is some construction going on right now at the port.
In the middle of it. So we spent half of the funds we received earlier with some preliminary dirt work, which is about 70% done. The river rose, ran into a stalemate, and we're about to resume to finish that. I guess you could call it phase one of the liquid loading dock. And so we've got
So the only hiccup was the river.
that, and then it ran into a stalemate with some existing lines.
Yeah.
And then there were some redesign, if you will, or change orders within the specifications. And we're about to resume.
So we are where we need to be now.
We are where
Okay.
we need to be within the next few days. The contractor can go back to work.
Yes, sir.
We can complete that phase one, which is primarily dirt work.
Thank you.
All right. If there be no-
Pursuant to a request that the board had made in the past regarding maintenance in and around the port facility and the industrial park, I am asking if they'd be available for some help along the lines of long arm mowing machines for the ditches, some dirt and a dozer for the maintenance on the levees that have suffered erosion through high water and rainfall. Before I go in higher on the private side.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready for the long marches?
Ready for the long arm, before the rain comes, ready for the dirt.
Mr. President, when you say erosion is on the levee, are you talking about the part that we finished?
No.
Are you talking about
No,
something different?
you talking
No,
about
we're
here?
talking about the existing levee that's been there since 1965. and-
Yeah.
And the later dates.
So my question is, not to you, but to maybe this board, when are we gonna finish this? I mean, we claim we got
We're talking-
somebody.
We're talking about two different
Two
levees.
different-
No. I'm off of what you talking about. My question is, we always hear we got a potential person wanna locate on this property. My question is, when are we gonna finish it?
The question is, Chandler need to be here. It was addressed last meeting. We got a $2.9 million, project waiting to be done now. So I don't know. That's a great question, because it needs to be started. Am I correct? When Chandler came last time, the county had so much and National Inc. got so much they got to spend. So it's time for it to get bid out, but Chandler's not here, so I'll have him here the next meeting because he definitely need to be here. Huh? Yeah, because we supposed to been asking and me for permission to go to Jackson on the 13th possible. 13th of this month, so I gotta ask for that on number 4. But anyway, go. Anything else, Ms. Howard?
That's all I have.
So, Robbie, you good with working out, trying to get him help?
I'm gonna go and get some long arms, sit down there pretty quick before we
Okay,
start. before
well,
we
he
get
gonna
started.
do that and you work it out, call Robbie and we'll work on it. And, we appreciate you coming and, if there be no other questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
All right. Park.
Question.
Good.
Is that something that can be added to the spray list?
Yeah, but we can't kill it, I mean, we can't kill it, I mean, you
Not
know what I'm
that
saying, we can
really.
spray it, maybe we've done it, but yeah, you don't want it to start washing and stuff. We've done this in the past,
I know.
we've worked with them a lot.
I think he was talking about the ditches.
Yeah, well, probably spray some of the ditches, yeah.
I'm talking about any of it. Okay.
All right. Any more department, any public comment? All right, well, we coming to the table.
Mr. President, I got a question. I don't wanna change what's on the, agenda, but I see we got both of the solid waste people. Are we dealing with this today?
Anything? was.
I'm just, you know, I'm just kind of confused. I mean, which I'm not confused. They called, but I don't know. One of them called and said he was gonna be here. Mr. Richard wanted to be here from
Arrow.
From Arrow, and I think then the attorney called, so both of them could be here. But I mean,
He needs to let us know what's going on.
but it should have been. It's supposed to be an email, but everybody mailed out up to it. After this, I got with the attorney and told them to get an email out, and I guess they wanted to come because I'm not clear. I think we had a proposal and we had, you know, we was gonna discuss on what we was gonna decide on what was there, but I don't know. So
Today?
Huh?
Today? Are we dealing with
This,
solid waste today?
I know.
They're here.
Say what?
So,
The prerogative of the board.
I mean, they're here and
Everyone's here.
I mean, what more do we have to discuss?
that's what I'm saying.
If the board wants to address it, they certainly can.
I don't know why we keep them sitting here all day long if they're here to deal with this. We need to go and get it over with where they can go on where they gotta go.
Again, it's up.
So it's up to us to deal with.
Well, I'll tell you what I do.
doing.
I'll tell you what I do. You want me to get my report?
Give your report.
Okay, I'm gonna get my report. I wanna congratulate, no, I'm gonna skip all that. I'm gonna deal with the waste collection. After taking these bids under advisement, I would like to make a motion to award the solid waste collection to United Infrastructure Service.
You heard the request, you heard the motion. Supervisor Gray, got a motion on the floor. Can I get a second?
I'm second, so we can have discussion.
Second. It's been properly moved by Supervisor Gray, properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Now discussion. Anybody have a discussion?
Excuse me, Mr. President, before we get started, what you'd be doing is selecting one of the proposals that's the most qualified proposal.
Yeah.
And you can do one, none, two. Up to you.
I'm gonna start with a discussion.
You have to, based on the proposal one, what was submitted, that's where we're at.
That's where we at. So, that's what he did.
I was just making sure it was.
He made a, I want to make sure that we straight, so it is taken under advisement, so she having a discussion. So we in discussion, so is it legal for us to discuss, well, I know she can discuss
The proposal.
the proposal.
And it's selecting the most qualified
Yeah.
proposal or proposals.
That's
You
what I'm
haven't
talking
gotten a contract yet, you have to
Not a
select a
contract.
qualified proposal or proposals, and then you can negotiate the contract. That's how the statute's written.
There was proposals out there. There was a 1 day and there was a 2-day pickup. Is this proposal a 2-day?
Well, see, that's where I hate where everything get messed up, get messed up at. We said it here as a board, not being no harm. We said as a board, we came as a board and we sat down and decided that we was coming together, what we wanted, we was gonna do a 2-day pickup. Everybody had the same proposal and everybody had the same pricing. So the proposal that, am I right, Scott? The proposal that we are talking about, the bids that they gave was on the 2-day proposal that we as a board decided on. Am I correct?
The request for proposals had a form that allowed multiple options, 1 or 2 days. You can review anything that.
But what was proposed?
He said
1 or 2 days.
One or two
That's
days.
1 or 2 days. So I wanna make sure
It's 2
that
days.
this is 2 days.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir, ma'am.
I'm so sorry. I'm so used to saying yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I ain't more discussion.
So Supervisor Gray, the motion is for 2-day?
That's
Yeah,
Today.
2 days.
That's what I read. On the proposal.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion,
And this is the lowest bid.
Yeah.
by very little. But y'all, a couple of y'all have just ruled out altogether, 1-day pickup and not even looking at what the cost of the county is. And it is significant to do a 2-day. Now, I really believe that people will adapt to the 1 time a week pickup versus the 2 time a week pickup because of the cost involved in county. How much is it gonna cost the county extra? Scott, do you have any idea? 2-day pickup versus 1-day pickup? And where's that money gonna come from?
Yeah, I have not calculated the difference of cost between 1 or 2 day. I would have to go pull for proposals and calculate it up. The cost can come from the general fund, it can come from.
We have money in the general fund?
It can come from special levies, it can come.
We don't have any money in the general fund, really.
We
I
don't.
don't believe.
I thought we had.
So, you're saying we can raise the rates on the taxpayers or for the garbage pickup?
There's a variety of different things we can do.
But what is the best option is the question. Now, both of y'all are here. Do you have a 1-day pickup on your sheet?
We have a 2-day pickup. Only have 1-day pickup.
He bid it 1 day.
That's what it, twice a week.
Y'all didn't bid it 1 day?
We bid twice a week. That's what they
Do you
recommend.
have the bid
twice a week.
results?
And also they had about the cost, which wasn't on.
This is what we're doing.
He's talking about what's on the bid proposal.
So we talked, I just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
And he-
I mean, we're gonna talk about garbage.
That's what I'm saying, the last time he said until we select a proposal, in the last meeting, he said, once we select the proposal, then we can discuss. I just wanted to make sure, I'm not trying to cut you off, discuss as much as you need, I just want to make sure we leave.
You know, what Paul's saying is what was on his proposal.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, what the proposals are. What was the 1-day proposal for Arrow?
The 1-day proposal for was $17.45, which includes a card.
Okay, the 2-day,
For air disposal was $26.95, which includes a card. 36 cents higher than his price without a card.
no, we're talking about 5,300 residents or 5,700?
We use the number 57. So just
All right.
real quick, the number between once a week and twice a week is $600,000 a year difference.
600,000.
And every other county that I've been in the state of Mississippi has once a week. So I'm just saying, if you want to.
All right, Mr. Hargrave.
We gave it once a week as well, and Arrow's talking about 1 can, which you have several cans out to pick up. Is that 1 95-gallon can for the whole week? The cart?
Ask your neighbors in Lincoln County.
Is it 8 cart, or is it 2 carts, 3 carts, 4 carts?
I would imagine everybody would empty whatever was out there, but if there
It's
is.
in 1 cart.
Well, okay, but, so what's your 1-day proposal?
25.33 is what it is.
I mean, the 2 time,
Not
what's your 2-day and what's your,
I don't have it in front of me.
2 days, $26.66 per residential unit per month.
That's
I thought it was 56.
What's best for the county?
56.
And what's the 1 day?
66.
I'm looking up, I don't have it in front of me, y'all.
66.
Yes, it's
Not 56.
20, excuse me, $25.33 for once a week, and $26.66 for twice a week.
So what is your?
say that again?
$25.33 for once a week collection, and $26.66 for twice a week.
That's almost the same price?
And that's our number, and we'll stand behind it.
29 cents.
29 cents difference.
You talked about earlier about how much garbage you're picking up, and really twice a week, the trucks are full. How you gonna go from twice a week to once a week?
All right.
We're talking about how much you're picking up on the highways and byways.
Keep it on the RFPs.
I
Y'all
mean,
can discuss that.
let me say this, we discussed that last time Errol was here about that once a week. You all was not present. Once a week, believe me, I've been here for 36 years. I saw what once a week will do. Once a week is chaos. There was complaints from the residents about how much garbage was all over the place, and that they have more garbage, right now have more garbage, but more than twice a week. So it's no way you could do once a week and think they will adapt to that. You will have more complaints. I've seen it happen, and there's some other things I like to say, but I would not say during that time. But once a week is not a good idea. People have said that they are rather pay for that twice a week than to have that once a week. I've seen that happen.
Any more discussion?
So, you, that's $50,000 extra, a month to do the twice a week.
Are you talking about county or residents?
You said it's $600,000 difference in the contract. It's $50,000 a month that the county has to pay.
Without residents.
If we do
without
one,
house?
if we do one versus two, now, Mr. Slover is saying that we have various ways to come up with the money. I don't know what they are exactly. General fund, the county doesn't have a lot of money. As all of you know, we don't have an income stream per se. We get what we get, and it's basically, you gotta do the best you can with it.
I'm thinking that he's talking about maybe charging the residents when he said there's multiple ways of some of this cost too.
But we can't put all of it on the
Not
residents,
all
is that
of it.
correct?
Yes, not all of it, some.
We can't put the whole, because we have an obligation to do garbage, right?
Yes, the county has the obligation, legal obligation to cause all garbage to be collected and disposed of at a landfill legally. We have that obligation, and there are a couple of different ways, funding mechanisms to accomplish that. At this particular junction, we have since we're changing in the middle of a year and so forth, there is a broad amount of abilities to take this increase. Legal abilities, what I'm saying.
Okay, next thing on my agenda here is, I'm looking at Chapter 11 bankruptcy coming from Metro, and they're swapping over to a different company. Are you using the same trucks?
Excuse me. Why is it brought up about Chapter 11 bankruptcy?
Why would it be brought up? All this stuff is a public record.
Yes.
It's not public record. Do you bring up other people? Chapter 11?
We got Mr. Hargrave.
Chill out. It's calm down.
Okay, here's my point. Whether it's Chapter 11, whatever, everybody in the county knows that you're, in the state of Louisiana, that you filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, there are people, a lot of people in this county that suffered badly from this. I'm not gonna name them unless Mr. Slover says I can, but there's a lot of companies that are in this bankruptcy that lost money in this county. And if you're gonna use the same trucks that you just swapped over from one business to other, that you're all breaking down and have to be towed and worked on and mechanics all the time, how is your deal better than their deal?
Again, we're supposed to make our decision.
That's what we can deal with discuss. All right, well, listen. Seems like,
I just want to hear what he said again. That's all I'm asking. Say it out loud where everybody can hear it. I can hear you.
Let's make this determination on the proposals that are submitted, not on questions and presentations,
And
either side. So.
And then we couldn't, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to a January the 3rd. Roll call, any motion, we're gonna do a roll call vote, cause it seems like we ain't getting nowhere. Supervisor Gray, how you vote? Okay, well, you got discussion?
It's not discussion, I just want to say that, the people of District 1 voted me to represent them. And I've received 6 phone calls since all this started. And every phone call was in favor of 1 day a week garbage pickup. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. We've got to cut costs somewhere. There's an increase coming to the county and to the residents. So I just want to go on record as saying that I am in favor of once a week pickup.
All right. Roll call vote. Supervisor Gray, how did you vote?
Yay,
Supervisor Hutchins, how you vote?
Yeah, to twice a week.
twice a week.
Supervisor Milton, how you vote?
Nay.
Supervisor Wilson, how you vote?
Nay.
Supervisor Gaines, I vote yea. Motion carried 3-2. Twice a week pickup. So, there you go, motion carried. Yeah, it's motion carried.
Mr. Gray, finish your report.
Finish your report, Mr. Gray.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I want to congratulate the new police chief for Natchez, Ms. Carol Green, and I think she's gonna do an exceptional job. She used to be over here with the county, and I pray and hope that her and the sheriff have a great working relationship to do what's best for the citizens of Adams County. Ms. Brandon.
Yes.
On our MAS Friday meetings, I heard something about reporting our AARP. Do we have to report before a certain time?
We do, April 1st.
I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
I was even on Mr. Slaver about that last week.
Okay. Getting Morgantown Road. Okay. Mr. Slow, we dealt with 16 Southview. Okay. How are we gonna deal with the part that the state owns?
The state has given us permission to go on the site and clean it. And we would have already done that, except we didn't want it to be a argument about, well, you crossed my property line or whatever. We just adjudicated that parcel of minutes. The state has given us permission. We need to adjudicate it in minutes. Has given us permission to go clean it. And so now we're ready to get it.
So when you say you're ready to go, and our road department needs the sheriff department to assist them to go out there and do whatever they got to do. And I think Supervisor Hutchins mentioned that we got to have somewhere to put this stuff. So when I was out there the other day, that's all they did was complain about what's going on out there. So what can I tell the citizens that live in the Pineview, Southview area? Because I told them the county was finna start taking care of it.
County's fixing to start to take care of that, and we're gonna ask the state for reimbursement. And I'm telling Robbie to get in touch with MDEQ with anything we dispose, to make sure we dispose it properly. Because we're gonna charge it back on the tax roll.
Thank you.
For that 60.
And last, I just feel like we living in a real sensitive time, and I just think at the end of the day, we know what's right, and we don't always do what's right. And I try to be honest, open, and fair with everything I do. And no matter what you do or what you say, the part that we can't seem to ever get right is understanding and communication. Once we get the communication and understanding together, then we're gonna be all right as a county. And I've been on these boards long enough to know we are not gonna agree on everything, everybody. But I pray to God that we don't fall out because we got disagreement, but this is not the first time. And we just made a motion to build a state-of-the-art. You wasn't here. And I wish your son had a chance to play in this state-of-the-art facility at our park. Guess what? We don't want the people coming in and out of the county with trash all over the place trying to get to the park. Because, I'm gonna be honest with you, once a week might work in certain districts, but it won't work in District 4. I got the oldest district and they don't understand that you got to put the trash in the trash can because they put it everywhere but in the trash can. And the only thing I'm gonna say is this. I can't wait till we get no the cameras all over this place. New Orleans had to do it and a lot of these other places had to do it. That's why it's safer now in New Orleans because of the NOLA camera. And last, my sympathy goes out to the Malone family, the Gooden family, the Galmore family, the Davis family, and former supervisor Kevin Butler lost his mom, and my sympathy goes out to him. And that concludes my report.
Supervisor Hutchins.
I don't have much today. First thing I need to do is get travel to Vicksburg for April 12th through the 14th. This is for the Minority Caucus Workshop.
That's a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
Wait a minute.
April 12th, Vicksburg.
It should be, actually, it should be all three of them. I see, I
But
got.
she getting hers
She
because
just,
she.
no, it's for, oh,
No, I'm talking about your travel because we use trucks.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But you still need to pull travel in case something happened to you.
Yeah.
You was talking about, you got a form.
You got a form.
Okay.
But I'm saying in your motion for travel, we need to make a motion, you approve your travel. But I'm saying, but we need to be included in travel because we don't travel also.
That's what my motion was, for everybody.
Right.
Okay. That's okay. All right, you heard the, been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, proper second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? Be no discussion. All vote in favor by using sign of aye. Any opposed? Nays have the same right.
Okay. And the next thing is, I wanted to ask the county administrator, when was the deadline for the county administrator applications? When is the
It's
deadline?
Thursday, I believe.
Thursday, this coming Thursday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Sounds good. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Supervisor Mills.
I had some stuff, I've already spoken to Mr. Dollar about it, I had an issue with Mr. Bradford about the siren in Cloverdale, spoke to him about it. And back to the solid waste contract, you know, what I did say, and I stand by it, was people voted me to represent them. I had 6 phone calls in favor of 1-day pickup. And I didn't have a single person reach out to me saying we need to stay 2-day. And my goal up here is to try to streamline government and try to save the taxpayers money. And I represent the people, and that's the reason I voted for mayor. That's all I have.
Okay, I guess that's my cue to,
Yeah, no, go ahead, Supervisor Wilson, I'm sorry.
well, Robbie, I want to thank you and your crew for all that you've been doing here lately. I got a lot of calls. They're happy with like Kingston Road, shoulders and what have you, and all the other stuff you've been doing out there, all the paving. A lot of people call me about that too. I've never seen people so happy about getting a road paved, but and I'm grateful for it.
And real quick, all their help in the parks as well, because they have been helping with the parks. So thank you also.
No, it's okay. And on the garbage, I thought that was a negotiation we were gonna have, and we didn't. We left money on the table. Probably a lot of money because we didn't negotiate it all. Trash is a big issue in the county. And there were a lot of complaints before with the old company, and I'm sure that we'll find out what happens with the new company. Who's right and who's wrong. It won't matter at the end. But we're paying a lot of extra money for garbage that we really don't have, and I guess we're gonna take it from the citizens, which is exactly why I was voted in here, was to try to help and keep the county budget down and be more conservative. But every time a vote like that comes up, I'm always on the short end of it, because I am conservative. On another line, next Monday I'll be in Coleman, Alabama, and we'll be introducing something. I'll show it to some of the board members in the press here in a minute. Introducing some ballistic wall protection for schools to maybe help some of the children in school shootings all over the country. We've been working on it since that shooting in Ovad, Texas, 8 or 9 months ago that killed 21 people. These things can be deployed in 7 or 8 seconds, and the kids can be there within another 10, and they'll take a 50 cal shot from close range and it will not penetrate. It'll buy the children and teachers time for the police to come there and hopefully take out the shooter if he's still on campus. But it's going to be a great thing, I think, for the country.
Could you say that again, what you were saying? What is it?
I will show you a video of it. They're ballistic panels that will go in the schools. They won't take up hardly any space, but once they need to be deployed, they can be pulled out and locked in, and the kids can go in, and a door will shut that's like a prison door that was specially made for these. That the walls and the door will take a 50 cal shot and not be penetrated. So the kids will be safe inside. They will also act as storm shelters for tornadoes in the area, and you want to deploy the room. They can get inside because most children or people are injured in storms from debris flying. And if you're inside this ballistic room, nothing's going through it. Some teachers, like the one in Coleman, Alabama, where the room is already there, decided she's going to leave hers deployed all the time because she's going to use it as a reading room. Plus, she said that she doesn't know if she could remember everything she was supposed to do if that bell goes off and the alarms if there's an active shooter. Because they got a 15-step protocol now for those kind of drills, and one of them is to throw the books at the shooter, which seems absurd, but it is actually part of the curriculum of what you're supposed to do if a shooter enters the room. So it's so for the good of the order, that's the part you don't want to get across.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
How many kids does it supposed to hold?
Well, it's 10 by 10, so it's funny how the government works things out. 1 square foot will handle 1 child in the kindergarten through the 3rd grade. As they get older, 1.5 square foot per child, 2 square foot for the high schoolers. So you go 175 to 50 high schoolers. It's going to be interesting to see what the reaction is, but it was announced about 2 weeks ago, or just put on one person's Facebook, and it would have 2.5 million shares in a week. So some people have heard about it, some people have seen it. I just wanted to let y'all know, so y'all would say, hey, how come we didn't know that 3 guys from Mississippi are the ones that built this, and we didn't know about it. And I've been trying to call our congressmen and our senators, but so far I've not got through to one of them, which is very.
This ain't no joke. So are y'all like the stock market, Amazon? I don't want to put my little share in that. And they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Well, actually, we're trying to get something over here now.
So Pete, is that what?
Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, it's Pete and Kevin. Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes.
Yeah, conclude.
All right, Deputy Clerk Patty Dean. Okay, Chancellor Clerk.
Got a couple of things. We received an order from Judge Drake. She is replacing an employee. This is, let's see, I think his last name is Bellings, Joe Bellings. This is for a Coordinator 3 for the 6th Circuit Adult Intervention Court Program. His salary is fully paid by AOC at $53,000. It does require a budget amendment, but it is fully funded by the state. If y'all want to
Do a motion to find out the order, also find the previous position was resignation. Was
Right.
extended.
Yeah. So resignation of the previous employee and him, and then I'll do the budget amendment. So motion.
You heard the You've been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, properly second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? There be no discussion. All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
Okay, and this, as I mentioned, this does require a budget amendment. The previous salary was 51.5, it's going up to 53. So from the general fund, we will need to move $2,500 to fund number 118-174-401. We'll need to move $435 from the general fund to 118-174-465. And then $191.25 to 118-174-466. And then $6.75 to 118-174-467. Just need to have that revival.
All right, you heard the request.
So,
It's been properly moved by, Supervisor Hutchins, can I get a second? Properly second by Supervisor Wilson. There been any discussion? All in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
okay. We have another property where the chargeback was placed erroneously on the property for the 2020 and 2021 tax years. So it was 21 chargeback and 22 chargeback. It's for PIN number 9931. Just need to have approval from the board to have those two chargebacks stricken.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk, can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson.
Second.
Properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
I need to have the February 2023 mule tracking report for the Adams County Sheriff's Office for Councilman.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk, can I get a motion? It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? There be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
The financing on the equipment for the road department, we got financing through Delta Bank. They were the lowest and best bidder there. We need to make some modifications to the budget to reflect this. To fund number 160-309.15, we're increasing that fund by $33,144. And then fund number 150-309.18, which is road and bridge. We need to have that increase by $150,976.42 to reflect the financing.
You heard the request of the Chancellor Clerk.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion?
What's the interest rate on that? Right.
2.75, I believe.
Okay.
If there be no more discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
Don Bates retired, as y'all are well aware, after many years of service for the county. And I just need to have this approved. Samuel Thomas was hired to replace him as of, we need to change the date, the 6th of this month. And at this thing at 42,000, which is the rate that we have.
He was working here. He was working here before.
Yes. Yep.
Samuel Thomas.
Just need to have that approved and for the president.
You heard the request. It's been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Get a second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion?
Yeah. What rate?
42,000.
All right, if there be no discussion, more discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
I received a letter from Entergy, and it says that this letter is informing that Entergy Mississippi is preparing to perform improvements to an existing overhead transmission line that is located adjacent to county property. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. These improvements will include upgrading the existing pole structures and conductors to support increased demand for power along Natchez to Washington transmission line corridor. They're going to be performing an on-site inspection of the facilities along the existing route. Says Entergy will make every effort to use the existing right-of-way as access to facilities, but if unforeseen circumstances arise, an alternate route enabling access to the transmission lines facilities will need to be found, which may affect the county property. They're asking for the county to fill out this information sheet showing that we're the owner of the property, so on and so forth, and to acknowledge that, you know, they're gonna be placing this transmission line, but certainly wanted to get approval from the board, if that was the board's wishes, to send this paperwork into you.
You heard the request?
And I can call if y'all need more information, I can call.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if any of y'all
Get a
had.
little more information before I cast my vote.
So I'm guessing nobody's been approached, and no board has been approached.
No.
Okay. I will reach out to them. We just got this last week, so. And then I have an item for 2 items to be determined.
All right, Attorney.
Piggybacking on some of the transfers, hope y'all got these late Friday. There's Fund 001-221-468. That's the group insurance for Metro. We need to go from 0 to $84,841.46. There is on 001-200-915. That's to accommodate for the enterprise lease payments that we had agreed on a couple of years back. There is, those are your two, for custody of prisoners. Last year's expenditures was approximately $365,000, and after talking with the sheriff and with Stanley, and looking at the scale that it's going, that's going to be a cost, is what it is. They are looking at a couple of things to maybe save some funds, but based on the way it's spending, that's the trend. So the proposed budget should be $159,443.58. Again, that's just based on other expenditures. Not to ask y'all to vote particular on that out of order, but if that's a question that y'all need to ask, we can stop now. I'll keep on going. The second thing was on the recreation, trying to update the bond within the recreation bond. We have $469,227.73 for the scanning of documents, for the capital improvements on the parks. That's Fund 211-510-922, $2,121,942.62. For architectural expenses, we have 211-510-561 for $26,125. For asphalt, 211-510-632, we have $16,972. For some other supplies, 211-510-655, $84,084. That gives us total expenditure of the cap $2,718,351.35. There's a balance that's left over that we need to expend for improvements of $221,648.65.
You say it's $221,000 or what?
$648.65. And then based on the motion that y'all previously passed on Fund 211-510-911, that would be $400,000 that goes under construction in progress for the ball field. So that was estimated, looking at the ball field, beginning at 1.6 based on your motion today. That brings it up to $2 million for the ball field. The rodeo arena is still set at $300,000. I'm trying to make sure the rest of the funds, Pine Mountain's still set, even though there's about 35 spent, still set for about $75,000. The rest of it all, at the moment, is set as what it's been expended on. I know some of y'all had a couple of other things, and as we come back before the board when it's been wrong. So we can get a motion to approve those amendments.
You heard the request of the attorney, been properly moved by Supervisor Wilson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Been properly second by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion? If there be no discussion, all in favor, vote by using the sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
I've not talked to EJ. I know that Brandon is either here or on his way. Either regardless, we'll tell them to do whatever they need to do to get the internet back on and going. That means bringing in professional or whatever. We got to do that. Got to have internet tomorrow. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm trying to pull a bid. I was supposed to have gotten. There it is. I'm so sorry. We had 2 bids on the rodeo arena, the equestrian center. This is to build a roof over the bleachers, cover a holding pin arena, cover roping boxes and chutes, furnish all materials and supplies for actually approximately 8,000 square feet. We had 1 bid from Larry Hutchins for $66,500. We had a second bid by G. Rayburn Contracting for $76,500. I need to find that Larry Hutchins LLC is the lowest and best bid.
So can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Gray. Can I get a second? Second. Yeah, properly second by Supervisor Wilson. Any discussion? I'll definitely stay within my, I'll be able to stay within my budget. This is just like phase 1 of the cover because they're going. We got 1 more phase, but I won't exceed what we have in there. So we're gonna move on with phase 1 of this, and I'll be glad when y'all come out there and you see from before and after picture. All right, all in favor, vote by using sound aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right, motion carries.
You to adopt the finding that we posted proper notice on 10 Ratcliffe Place. We had previously adjudicated it on October 3rd. It gives us the right to come onto the property for the next year by posting notice 7 days, both on the property and the courthouse. We've done that, certified by yours truly. A motion to adopt that. Attached to the note.
All right, I'll make the motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved by me and properly second by Supervisor Wilson. There any discussion? There be no discussion, I'll vote by using sign of aye in favor. Any opposed, nays have the same right.
I think that is it. Do you have anything for to be determined?
Yeah. Back on the envelope. Had something in my report.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right.
Okay, and I don't know who, we have previously approved, sound and acoustic panels to be put in the Kingston Community Center.
We have 15,000 set aside. For
Okay,
Kingston approval.
I need somebody to follow up on that to find out who we're gonna do, who we're gonna use. I don't know if Paige has it, or Meg, or. On those acoustic panels, Robbie for the, try to do something about that sound in the Kingston Community Center.
She previously back some time ago, it's
And then she got some bids. I wonder if she'd follow up and try to see who's gonna do the best job on
I get her
that.
to give the Shockey and,
For the new.
And try to get that done, because I was out there again Friday for a funeral, and it was like, geez.
There is money.
You don't have a headache when you walk in, you dang sure have one when you walk out.
There is money put into that.
Okay, I just,
About 100, there's 15,000 total.
oh, okay.
Mr. President,
Yeah.
after you give your report, I got one more thing to say.
All right. Well,
Can I do something quick?
Yeah.
Just one. I'd like to make a, motion for Don, a, resolution for his retirement.
you heard, the motion by Supervisor Hutchins, resolution for retirement, and a second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right, in my report, I think we talked about this previous meeting. This is, Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality. This $19,000 from the road department. This is a request, has been approved, subject to full execution of the grant agreement. So I guess we need permission to sign
We previously approved that last meeting.
We did?
Yeah.
I thought we did. Why is it here? I signed before. I thought I had all signed. Okay. Okay. All right.
Better to ask anyway, Mr. President.
Yeah. So is it travel? You go. Joe did.
I was hoping we'd get there before this year. That's gonna be nice.
Yeah, this is this is a request for travel. I'm not sure whether Flavors contacted either you regarding approval or expense for the drug court conference in Houston. I've attached a resignation, which is incomplete, as well as a hotel that I booked. All conference hotels are full. Joe Billings will be submitting his request separately. We are the only people attending. AOC will reimburse all costs. Will you add this? This Monday's docket. This is from.
That's a travel. She did travel.
Yeah.
So
Travel approval.
and reimbursed. It's just for the
Yeah. Rick was great this second. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using sign aye. Aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. This is travel for Sharkey Martin and bookkeeping. It has been signed. Chancellor Clerk Comptroller, the conference is April the 18th and 19th. The conference is 4 rooms.
Where? Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah.
Is this for the Chancellor Clerk?
No, bookkeeping, control.
It's, change your clerk, comptroller, and county administrator.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins and proper second by Supervisor Gray. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by using sign aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. Motion carried. All right, make sure I got everything.
Shorter back some.
Pay rate change, this is Bree Cook's pay rate change, to $15 an hour, civil defense executive, hourly rate $15. Paperwork has been signed. Can I get a motion? And it has been checked, huh?
Did we do that?
Yes.
Yeah, we already did that.
Well, but they didn't have the form.
They didn't have the form.
Right, okay.
So we gonna sign it.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Hutchins, second by Supervisor Miller. Any discussion? I mean, Gray?
Yeah.
Gray, and all in favor, vote by using sign aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right, the Dodger Johnson telecommunication application, $12 an hour starting. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
It's been properly moved.
Second.
And By Supervisor Hutchins, second by who?
Right.
Gray, I think, yeah. Yeah, all in favor, vote by using sign of aye. Any opposed, nays have the same right. All right.
Mr. President, got to add in my report, I would need both or one of you for tomorrow. We have that mental health with Bill Roseman. He's coming in. That's an email out. I don't know if you copied it.
But at 3 o'clock,
Yes, sir.
something like that. Supervisor Gray, you get that?
I got it now?
Yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna, move forward. Cause in my report, I know, I don't like to keep bumping on, but I will say this, and we had a large problem. We do know in garbage and picking up, but I take in consideration, we went in a bind with garbage and nobody would even give us a proposal, wouldn't even give us a price and an opportunity to pick up garbage. And, I read through the email, and the email said that everybody was $30 per a customer more if they would pick it up when we didn't have anybody to pick up garbage. And, we don't need another garbage relapse. And so, on those kind of things, I look at it and I made a decision. Sometimes when you got folks that stick with you when you in a bind, it makes a difference when we was in a terrible bind, getting calls everywhere, and we couldn't even get a company to even take us, help us out of a bind. And so those are kind of some of the things that we look at and picking up when I made decisions on it. But at any rate, I ain't gonna kick it because I believe in making a decision moving forward. This has been a tough year as a president. My first couple of meetings was rough, and now it looks like it's getting a little rough, but I hope that we can make some decisions and move on and constantly do county business and not take anything personal, because this is an important year and everybody, we got a lot of business to move forward with. And that concludes my report. Mr. Chandler, Russ?
He is an executive, right?
Yeah.
You're executive?
Yeah, executive.
Okay.
Mr. President, the only thing I want to mention that I did go up down to Southwest Planning and had a conversation with Mr. Worth Peterson and Ms. Lynette Smith about the $100,000 that we was gonna give for the SNAP grant. I also showed them an article from NACO West. South Carolina gave $3 million for to help do the same thing that we giving $100,000. Don't get me wrong, I wanted $100,000 per district, but I'm happy with the $100,000 overall. But this is what I want this board to do. It's gonna cover 2 people in each district. Make sure you got 2 people in your district, your district, your district, your district, in your district. If you don't have 2 people that can use it, then pass it on to somebody else. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you, Supervisor Gray. I know you say it's gonna cover 2 people. Let me ask this. It's for repairs, right? Am I correct?
We still following the guidelines of SNAP.
Right.
Right.
But it's for repairs?
Repairs.
Okay. What if one person doesn't have that $10,000 repair and it's less
Well, they gonna
than
do this
$10,000?
less, and then you can take
You
the
can
rest
use
of
it and use it for somebody else.
Right.
That's what the question I have. Okay.
All right.
You got the guidelines somewhere?
They have.
I can give them for you.
Yeah.
All right. So we have, I need a motion to close the termination.
So,
It's been properly moved by Supervisor Mills, properly seconded by Supervisor Hutchins. Any discussion, all in favor, vote by using sign of aye.
aye.
Any opposed, nays have the same right, motion carried.